Have you ever seen someone judged before they even had the chance to speak? What if the person society overlooked, the one people avoided on the streets, was the very voice they needed to hear? Today's story is one that will touch your heart and open your eyes. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to Skin Deep Stories, because here, we share real and emotional stories that challenge stereotypes and inspire change. And let me ask you this. If you walked past someone homeless, would you stop to listen if they had something to say? Think about it. As we begin, on a chilly evening in the city, people were gathered in a large public square for a local event. Politicians, business owners, and community leaders were all giving polished speeches about progress, success, and change. But just at the edge of the crowd stood a young black woman. Her clothes were torn, her hair messy, and her eyes carried the weight of nights spent on the streets. People looked at her with pity, or worse, disgust. When she slowly walked toward the microphone, the murmurs began. What is she doing here? Why would we listen to her? Some even laughed. The host hesitated, but something in her eyes, something powerful, made him step aside. She gripped the microphone with trembling hands and said, I am not here to beg. I am not here to shame anyone. I am here to remind you that a voice without a home still has value, that a woman without a roof still has dreams, and that a person without money can still hold power through truth. The crowd went silent. She spoke of nights she went hungry while others threw away food. She spoke of being turned away from jobs simply because of how she looked. She spoke of the pain of walking invisible every day, as though her skin and her circumstances made her less human. Her voice cracked but then grew stronger. You speak of progress, but how can a city progress if it leaves its people behind? You speak of success, but success is empty when compassion is missing. I may be homeless, I may be overlooked, but tonight, I stand here to say, you cannot silence me. My worth is not defined by where I sleep, but by the truth I carry. By the time she finished, the same crowd that had laughed and doubted her was on their feet. Applause thundered through the square. Some had tears streaming down their faces. As she stepped away from the microphone, someone in the front row walked up, a man in a sharp suit. He introduced himself quietly. He was the founder of a nonprofit dedicated to fighting homelessness. What shocked everyone was what he said next. I was once where you are, homeless, broken, and ignored. And tonight, you reminded me of my own beginning. The crowd gasped. In that moment, they realized the truth. You never know who is standing beside you, or the story they carry. So, what do you think? Would you have listened to her, or walked away? Share your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear them. And don't forget to subscribe to Skin Deep Stories for more powerful and emotional stories that challenge the way we see the world. Because sometimes, the voices we ignore are the very ones we need the most.